Hello and welcome to this first look exploring session looking at a university witty play thing with these wonderful readers that we are going to have here. This is one of 4 videos with generic introductions looking at 4 different academic entertainment-y things that we're releasing this Christmas. So Merry Christmas, everyone. And yes, so we're having a bit of fun with some short pieces with Liza, Aliki, Eric, and Tom, and myself, Robert. And yes, we are now going to go into the play for this video, which is Preist the Barber, or a dialogue between Preist the Barber, Sweetball his man. Again, I'm not quite sure whether this has a pucker title or not. It's a thing about a barber. It's spelled. The name is Preist, but it's not priest as in a priest. It's a priest as in that's the name of a barber. So that's not confusing at all. So, yes, we're looking at this little dialogue. This is from 1611. Trinity College, Cambridge, apparently. Quite a few little bits and bobs keep popping out of Trinity, so always nice to see a little bit more of that. So it's a two-hander, this one, so I will ask Eric to read the vast number of stage directions that will appear in this text. And I will ask Liza and Aliki to be Preist the Barber and Sweetball his man.
What? Sweetball? Where are you?
Under your nose, sir.
Who was here to speak with me since I went?
There was 3 or 4 that brought half-crowns for you.
Honest fellows, aren't you? Half-crowns for me.
Aye, sir, for you to heal.
Oh, knaves then, I warrant you. But thou wouldst have said cracked crowns.
Why is a cracked crown any better than half a crown?
But before they have them whole crowns again, it shall cost them an angel. But was there nobody else here?
Oh, yes, there was one for you to go to the college to dress a scholar's head. They say it is broken.
I marry, sir, at the college. There's a pitiful head. It'd need to be looked after, for it will infect the whole body else. I understand it's a ringworm that his head is troubled with.
Sir, here was a gentlewoman, too, that said she was troubled with the colic.
A gentlewoman troubled with the colic. Is the wind there, i' faith?
She said the stone troubled the passage of her water. I hear say she hath done with all the physicians hereabout, and now is come to you.
Ah, the oil within upon the cupboard head is good for the swelling that a stone hath made, but what's that to the colic? Are you sure she's a gentlewoman? Why, the neat's foot oil is very good for her, yet what's that to her making water? I'll tell thee what, Sweetball, if she come again, tell her this receipt from me. Let her take a pretty quantity of good rose leaves and put them into a still. Keep a moderate fire underneath the still, and I'll warrant my life for hers, she shall make water. And good water, too, if she look to it. Anybody else here?
Here was another for you to draw a scholar's tooth.
I'm loath to go about that business, lest putting my finger into his mouth, I behold their tooth and nail. But I wonder why these scholars have more teeth drawn than any else. Is it because they should have no more than to eat their commons withal? For if they have nothing to be chawing of, they'll be snapping and biting at their fellows. But is it one of his foreteeth or his hind? If it be one of his farthest, it's dangerous.
It's an eye tooth, they say.
If it be an eye tooth, I shall see it the better.
Sir, they told me that you must set a joint, too.
What, a leg or an arm?
Oh, no, not, but they said you must set a bone for somebody.
I smell the matter now. I lay my life that somebody's nose is put out of the joint at the college lately. Therefore, fetch the oil that stands in the casket. It's very sovereign for that hurt.
Here was a gentleman that asked if this were Preist's shop.
Why, you little shaveling, you. I hope you could have told him that it was so.
Oh, so I did, and then he asked if you were a surgeon and went his way.
When did you ever know priests that were not surgeons? Methinks they might soon know me, for I have done as great cures as any man. I know some that will great cures in hand that know not how to perform them, and have been glad themselves to be cured by me. Sweetball, what, are you gone from the basin? Come quickly, or I'll scour you. Come, you're a
Sweetball with glasses. Sorry.
Come, you're a notable Sweetball to stay so long. Let's see that glass there. When I was at Sorbonne in France, I cured a whole college with this oil.
Why are colleges bodies?
Aye, and diseased ones too. Butts on them, they're much troubled with the scurvy. I hope that horse's disease have left them now. I cured the head there of a giddiness in the brain. As for the body, it was much troubled in the reins, which I helped too. The heart of the college was sound, but it was still troubled with a bad liver. The sides had a convulsion. As for the walls, they had the falling sickness. The windows had a great pain in them, which I cured with this glass of oil of vitriol.
Well, what shall I say to the fellow when he comes that has a sore throat, that he can't drink for it?
Oh, bid him take some of the oil of swallows, and I'll warrant him to get a good stomach. Let him take some of this oil. I know his ignorance will think it to be salad oil, but he shall never know otherwise from me. Then for the sergeant that was hurt, bid him look to his oil of mace. It's very good for him. Then the wench that was troubled with laziness in her bones, let her use this oil of broom, and it cannot choose but help her. As for the other oil there, set it up safe again. It's very precious. It is held I know not how many. I know it is healed I know not how many. I know 100 at least that had the pox, some 80 a burning fever, 80 at least troubled with an ague, 40 with the plague, and I'm sure 20 with the gout. All these were healed with very little, or as a man would say, with none at all of this oil. But I forget myself. They stay for me by this time at the college. Come, give the linen, the comb, and the glass presently, for now I must go to the college. It must be new trimmed, and bring some water. I think the college will be washed very fair and white, but where's the comb?
There's enough already at the college, sir.
Oh, they be but coxcombs there. Why, here's none of the razor neither.
Will they use any at the college?
Use razors at the college? Where else? Why, there are very often shaved there.
Will you have the curling iron, master?
No, they used to be cut very short at the college in all things. They care not for any great tops nor top gallants. Yet I must carry the glass, for they love to look into everything. Without the glass, they'll never look into themselves. But look, you bring the salve after, for the college must be plastered. 'Tis much broken out of late.
The priest exits, run.
You had a basin, yet there's no man washed. We gave no water, lest we should be dashed. Yet water for your hands will not deny, they being wet. We hope you'll clap them dry.
Exit Igor. I was quite liking that. I have the next thing, my lord. His quality was going through. I think what makes this interesting is it feels very audience participatory. It feels like they're picking people out, students out of the crowd for each of these setups. I mean, Sweetball is basically the feed for the whole thing. And, you know, again, it's subtle as a brick. But it has there are some nice little bits in there. I mean, just all the stuff about, you know, because, you know, a barber surgeon, so he's talking about various cures, and there are some nice little sort of little jokes in there that sort of work reasonably well. Some of them are probably a bit obscure. I did lose at some of them, but yeah, the question of making water or passing water. It's almost the reverse of the rosewater joke we had. It's like the inverse version of it.
Yeah, it's the 4 elements, isn't it? The wench, someone calls for rosewater, and they're like, "Well, I have a wench named Rose who can make you some." And this is. Yeah, I mean,
this is the reverse. This is someone who can't pass water, so they say, "Go and here's how to make some separately."
That is actually how rosewater is made. You put it into at that era, at least, you put it into a distiller, and what distills is rosewater. Yeah, it's I mean, it's kind of, I know all of this is in metaphors. I mean, I think Preist the Barber might be an actual priest when all is said and done, because I think what they've been fighting about at the college is doctrinal arguments. I think, and the priest has to go and actually set them right about it and make sure they're at peace. And the college, and they're talking about the college itself, both the buildings and the student body, as it were, as though it were a person. And I think this might be the barber surgeon may be a metaphor for a very put upon college chaplain.
Yeah, I mean, there's various little bits. And it's just, have you got? Don't they have combs at the college? They've got coxcombs. Thank you. Boom, boom. Do you use razors at the college? Where else they're very often shaved there? Is that a sort of assuming there's a sort of close shave kind of intellectual debate thing.
That and also colleges charged students little expenses for everything, a bit like prison.
So it's just every setup ends with a punchline, but they are slightly more obscure punchlines, I have to say. They're working a bit harder with this one. You need to set this one up a bit more. Again, it's not very long, so I feel like it's not going to. It's very hard for it to overstay its welcome because it's short. Eric.
Yeah, the bit about take some of the oil of the swallows and then the salad oil and then oil of broom and then that stuff. It just made me think of like not snake oil salesman, but like that sort of vibe of like a quack doctor kind of thing, where you kind of just someone who doesn't really know what he's talking about, but it's close enough, or he makes it sound like it's close enough. I don't know.
Yeah. So it sort of works, but needs a bit of work. But I think a part of it is about that the context of when it was performed and where it would need to be performed. It needs to be with a room who's sort of in on the joke, and that's the room. It's hard to find. It's not. They're interacting in a very dynamic way, which is a lot harder to do for us because the people who get the jokes are not necessarily the most dynamic audience in the universe, he said, risking alienating his audience. We love you. Any other thoughts about our little barber? Aliki?
I just had no idea that the straight man comic duo was so venerable, and that was fun.
Yeah. Yes, I don't think we've had quite so overt a feed punchline relationship like this, actually. We've had a few in some clowning relationships, but not really as sort of stand-up-y rather than something else. So that was that for Preist. Well, now back to an awkward closing announcement. Well, we've enjoyed this insert academic entertainment here. All that remains to thank all the wonderful readers, Tom, Eric, Liza, and Aliki, for all their wonderful reading. Thank you very much, everyone, and goodbye. A line from the end of the play.